There are things that we want to fulfill. There are milestones we want to reach. There are people we want to meet, things we want to learn. In our native language, they say "Kgotsamaya ke go bona," meaning I don't want to direct English it.
To go is to see.
To go is to see.
Direct.
But what direct translation? But what it naturally means is that if you explore, you know. There's always that element of you want to know things, you want to see things, and you want to start businesses, you want to start education, you want to get educated, you want to start a family, and all those things, all those milestones that we want to achieve. And we are looking into how does the environment play a role in your success or your failure. Welcome to Truth Syrup, the podcast. I am Press. This is
Lebo Winchoose.
So, Lebo, you are living in a community where there are different, I think everybody's got their role in a community. There are those people who clean their yards, that's their role. We have those people who are community builders, that's their role. We have police forums, that's their role. But here's the thing that I've realized with every role that we have is that the environment of which you are in plays a vital role in your success and mostly also in your failures. Do you think that growing up in a certain place, getting married in that place, starting a business in that place, or getting your degrees and your education in that place is a bad idea? Do you think that's something that we need to look into if we want to proceed or succeed in life? Should we change the environment of which we are in, or what role does it play?
Well, I like the part where you said the environment is very important. However, though, I will not necessarily say any place there's something wrong with that. If ever there's got opportunity to succeed.
Yeah.
It depends in terms of what you want to succeed in as a person. However, when you stick to one environment, then you are not expanding yourself, or you're not opening yourself for what the world has to offer out there. So I will suggest that even though your current environment might be conducive enough to enable you to, like you said, start a business, get married, whatever, but it's also important to also look on the outside and explore what's happening outside, and not just only looking at the here. Because there might be one, I honestly believe that there's always learnings in life on a day-to-day basis. So when you stick to just one thing, you'll end up limiting yourself instead of opening up and going somewhere so you can see certain things that are bigger or better than what you currently are exposed to. But environment, it's very important, but I think it also depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
Our goals, our visions are not all the same, and the levels of it. We might want to be a businessman or a businesswoman. However, your turnover, you might be in 100,000 and you're okay, while another person might be looking at millions and the other person might be looking at billions. So it does not take away anything in terms of being a business person, but it's just that obviously our limits are different. And obviously, if we want to reach a certain milestone, the bigger you go, then the bigger your knowledge needs to be in terms of that.
Yeah, I love the fact the fact that you mentioned knowledge. It is something that we struggle with. There are people out there are fearful of moving away from their hometown. They are fearful of...
It's a comfort zone type of thing.
Yeah. But they are fearful of the unknown. And I think that's where the problem is. And somebody will tell you that, had you been here, you would have been a success. how easy is it for you to understand that you need to move? What is it that you need to look at if you are going to take a decision of moving? Like you said, our goals and aspirations are different. But what is it that you need to look at as a person before you even take that decision? Because like I said, hey, some of us, we are.
But you must look at your abilities as well, because I might be a person who's okay to explore and go out there and be easily adapt to the new environment. Another person might not. And that certain move, for another person, it might elevate them, and the other person might actually take. Because let me give you an example. I have seen kids within our neighborhood where they've been with their parents from birth until matric. And now matric comes, then they need to go to tertiary. And once they're out there, then I don't know what it does. The whole thing of not being around their parents, they end up making bad choices and all this. Maybe within their personalities, they require their parents next to them to shield them and to guide them, while another child can just go out there and excel and do better without having their parents next to them. So is it necessarily a thing of everybody must do it? I don't think so. I don't think it's a matter of everybody must do it. It all depends on an individual's abilities, because you not all have the same abilities. Another person is just okay and comfortable being a teacher in a rural area. They still live in their purpose. Another person might have other aspiration that eventually, instead of just being a normal teacher, I want to get my PhD or be a lecturer. When you look at a township, there is no university there. So obviously you need to expand and go to places where it will enable you to fulfill your dreams. So the reason I'm saying this is that I don't want somebody to sit at home and think that everything that's out there, it's for everybody.
Wow.
Not everything that's out there, it's made for everybody. Other people, they cannot just handle it. Not because they don't want to, they just don't have it within them. However, though, if ever then you've got your own fears that's stopping you, then it's something that you need to look onto, because that needs to be fixed. But if ever it's got nothing to do with your fears, that's just where you are, you know, this is me, this is where I want to be, and I'm happy here. I don't want... There are people who just don't want busy life.
Yeah.
The traffic, the busy lifestyle, they just don't want that. They're okay being in a farm and just going to town,
And their own little corner,
to buy whatever, and still going to the little corner, and they're okay with that. However, while you know deep down that you want certain things, they're not going to come to you. And that's why they say knowledge is power. We say it a lot, but what does it mean? Without me knowing certain things, then I'm unable to do certain things because I don't know it. What am I going to do that I don't know? For me to be able to even trigger something, it is based on a certain knowledge. It can be from TV. It can be from social media. It's like, oh, okay, there's this thing that's been offered, you know. There's such thing as instead of what I'm already exposed to. So it's just a matter of a person and trying to say, okay, how bad do I want whatever that I want? Because you staying there, you cannot be in a rural place and you want, I don't know how to make it, you want something that is offered in a city life.
Yeah.
And you can still be there in a village, but work your way to that.
Yeah.
But you cannot sit in a village and expect whatever that's there to come to you automatically. Somewhere, somehow, somebody needs to bring it. And maybe it's you need to leave to go face so they can open up for the other people who are there.
Because I was looking at the scenario. I was two scenarios, in fact. I was traveling with someone not so long ago, and I was going to Hartswater in Northern Cape. What was surprisingly was that this person says to me she has never been to Hartswater, you know.
Okay.
She has never been to Northern Cape. Let me just call it like that. But we are neighbors. We are literally living in the same
vicinity,
you know. And I thought they were joking. But when it got there, it's like now everything was just new. And I kind of felt we need to go out more, even if it's just to go for a day or two, so that we can see how the other part of the world are doing things.
Just to explore.
Just to explore.
Yeah.
And another one is that our parents also play a role in us being a bit reserved when coming to exploring and learning new things. Is that I remember my first travel that I had to take was on my own. Went to Cape Town with a bunch of strangers, and my mom was concerned. And if it was up to her, yes, that's what she said. Because when you are living in a village, you are thinking of the world as this huge place where there's a lot of criminal activity, and there's a lot of bad things happening to good people and whatever. So she said, if it was up to me, you wouldn't be going anywhere. You would just be staying here and being safe where I can see you. And mind you, I was going there for the whole week. Now, what I've learned is that there's a lot of things that I was able to bring back home with the little knowledge that I was able to get when I went outside and I saw people living. Another thing, you go to a place like Johannesburg and you see there's a lot of business ideas that you can get, but you are asking yourself, why are these people who live here not initiating these things? Because they have all the resources. Why is there so many people struggling? Well, there's so many resources that you can use. Because why? You know where you come from.
Yeah. And you can compare.
Yes. So I'm sitting there, I'm asking myself, if I was here and living here, I would be doing 1, 2, 3, 4. But then I'm asking, why is it that all these guys here, they are begging, why is it that they're not grabbing this thing? Because a lot of factories are that side, a lot of businesses are that side. We only wish we could just fly, take things, bring them back home. But they have them at their disposal. And you are right. Being cooked up in an area, it's difficult for one to see things from the outside. That's why we need to go there and bring those things to them.
Yeah.
Because imagine, I'm sure your first time going out and going to find work, it was a bit of a stressful to your parents also. Because you started working at a very young age and they were like, will she be able to? I think also the fact that you were in boarding school, it assisted.
It made it easy. That's why I'm saying that it also depends on the type of person you are. Because I think from boarding school, looking at it in terms of my journey, my parents, when I went to tertiary in PE, the whole 3 years, my parents did not know I took myself there. You
understand?
So already I think that's why I'm saying that it depends on people's personality. Sometimes our parents pass their fears on their kids. Sometimes the parents can see that maybe my child does not have the abilities within them. They need me to nurture them. And that's why they would rather want them next to them instead of out there. So it's a two-way kind of thing. And then there's other ones that they know that whether I say this or not, this position is going to go anyway because they're just that type of people. So I'm that type. So for me with my parents, it was a bit easier in that sense because I've been there. Boarding school has made it easier. But also with boarding school, they knew I was in a hostel. I was up. It was not like I was just going around wherever I want.
I love comparing hostel as to mine workers, where you meet different people from different races.
Yeah.
And they have their own, man. The mine is like a bubbling pot of different cultures. It's like boarding school. People will be surprised that you eat this, and then you'll be surprised that this tastes good in this culture, or this is how we make it. So you get to learn those things.
And the nice thing about my boarding school, when we talk about diversity, which I love, it was everybody from everywhere. We had kids from Joburg. There was literally a bus that would take kids from Joburg. So these Joburg kids all came with. And then there were kids from Kurmani. And then us in Pampusai. Like it was just kids from all over.
Yeah.
And then now with different Babang Bacha from rural areas, Babang urban, Babang from suburbs, Babang Bacha from the big cities like Joburg, Babang from Bloemfontein, Kimberley. So it was that, and Abangon Kiva Zulu, Botswana. So it was quite nice because you learned a lot. And I think even with that, it actually opened up certain things, because now when you see certain people behaving in a certain way, doing things a certain way, certain people want to the latest fashion first than the other people. So when you are a curious person, because remember, not everybody's curious. Other people, things can happen and it's like they don't even see them. And they're okay. And they're okay with that.
No.
And like when I talking to you, like, and God, they were not even there. You know, like, what are you talking about? But then it also depends on people's personality, because we cannot shy away from the fact that we are different.
Yeah, that's true.
And just because certain things will make another person some energy, it does not mean it will be the same for another person. But body school, yeah, that's very nice. I think that also contributed to me in terms of trying, being curious about other places. And for me to go study in PE, I would not have known PE besides me going for a netball tour when I was in grade 8. And once I saw the place and I told myself that I need to come here. After matric, whether it's for school, whether it's for work, I need to come stay in this place.
You wouldn't have known.
So I would not have known if ever it was not because of that visit. So I do agree with you that exposure to a certain extent, it helps. It enables you to see certain things or to trigger certain things that you did not know that you actually wish you could do until you see it, you know. Sometimes you're okay, no, that's why you can see people now are coming back to the rural areas, they're building them a double story.
Yes.
You know, things that we see maybe when you go to the big cities. Oh, there's what. So now people are bringing them back. Our villages are no longer those houses, you know, houses. Now you can see beautiful houses that you know that once I can pick it up and take it to Sentinel, I'm worth 10 million. You know,
people are building crazy houses this side.
But because of that, it's all about exposure. It's all about knowledge. And once you get that knowledge and you know it's possible, then it gives you that energy, that gives that oomph of trying to go forward and try your best. Because, you know, you never know until you try if it's going to manifest or not.
You know, if you're not well traveled, but if you are, you would hear people say, I used to hang around with these other Zulu people. Those people can talk. Some of you will say, I used to hang around with people, those people can drink. So it's we need to, I love this one. Knowledge is power. You will never get knowledge unless you go and look for it. You said you attended school in P because you actually saw that place. It made you realize there's more to life than just you and your small spaces. And I think people are starting to get that. People, as much as people are building houses, but I've been watching this phenomenon where people are now buying houses on wheels. They have everything in their passes and they just want to travel. They just want to go and see the world and explore. But do you think this notion that says that I am going out there to find myself, does it make sense to you? Like you are leaving your comfort zone to go find yourself?
That's very powerful, because that's a clear indication that where you at, what you think so you'll be there with a house, you've got a job, you've got where somebody might look at you and think you've got it all together. And then you say, I'm going to find yourself. That's when you realize that this is not for what has been set out as a definition of you need to be this type of person. Remember, even our parents, there's a way of influencing what you need to be. Like, they will even tell you they know you more than you know yourself. Like, I'm your mother, I know you.
Wow.
So
that makes everything.
Me, when somebody has to leave it all together and you're like, I'm going to find, it basically says that I'm lost. This where I'm at, I've just realized that I'm not living my life. I'm not being true to myself. And as much as I don't know exactly what it is, let me go out there, because this I've been exposed to so many years or for so long. And I've realized, oh, this is not me. So now I'm going to go out there and find out exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm going. It's a process. I'm not saying I have arrived at my, I'm going, because then you're going to discover yourself based on what you see, what you hear, because you know what has been sold to you or what you used to believe is you. You realize and you got that reflection, like it becomes like a wow thing, like I can't do this anymore. When you get to that point, that means your heart fall away, like you're done.
Yeah.
Like I can't do this anymore. I can't pretend anymore. I can't go along with this thing of deceiving myself. It's not even about other people. It's yourself, because you get to a point that this is my life. I live once. If I don't do it now, when am I going to get a chance to do it? And at whatever cost it might be. But you understand that you finding yourself, whatever you're leaving behind, you're going to get greater and more happier things than what you're leaving behind. Right. That's why it's easy for a person to leave everything that you will think. And once they do find themselves, they get even 7 times more than what they left behind.
Because I think when somebody says that, I think for me, what you're saying resonates with where I'm thinking that when I say that I'm going to find myself, is that I am removing myself from my comfort zone.
Yes.
Because the comfort zone can be very dangerous at times. I remember it's more
like a prison.
It's more like a prison because you're afraid of stepping outside. You're living inside this bubble. I remember there was this 2 young couple that I always think about them, And what happened was we were supposed to meet because I think I was trying to help them with something. I think it was computer related. Now, when I called them, and I'm asking them for confirmation. Where are you guys? I'm coming through. These people, they are telling me, hey, we're in Durban right now. Hey. I'm like, whoa. You know who you're talking to, right? I was supposed to meet you this weekend. When did you guys leave? No, we left yesterday. But what I understood is that they did not have money. You understand? To travel.
Okay.
And I'm concerned. I'm like, how did you guys travel without money? No, we just had 50 rand and we decided, no, let's just go. And I thought to myself, this is insane. It's insane, but it's riveting also.
Yeah.
And I'm asking them, where are you guys staying? It's I don't know, man. Like they just thought.
And they seemed like they were not even stressful about it. You were now being stressed about them, but they're okay with the decision that they made.
That's why I realized that when somebody says, for as long as I have you, I am okay. It's more like saying, I'm not stressed about a lot of things for as long as I know you've got money.
Yeah.
So they ended up going there and they did what they did. And for me, I think it was not about fun. I think they were just trying to find that missing link, and they couldn't find it here because obviously, I mean, if I come to you and ask you, what do you think of me? Obviously, you will tell me things that I know because I've been with you for a while. But if you go out there and you explore things, people will tell you, this is the type of person that you are. You'll be surprised that people will just look at you once and they will be able to tell you that, no, this is what you do and this is your kind and this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because you didn't know that. Because your family was like, no, you can't go there. What are you going to do there? People are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I remember when I told my grandfather that I wanted to become a traffic officer. He got angry. He got angry at me. So I'm relating that because it's the same thing when you tell your parents you want to go live in Cape Town.
Yeah.
You want to go live in Durban. Who are you going to live with?
Yeah.
You don't have one. They start counting all the unnecessary things in your life. But I'm thinking we should look where we are first and understand, okay, what is it that, like you said, what is it that I need or what is it that I want for myself? Can I get it here or do I need to move? Hey, dear child, if you want to move and you realize that this can only work when you are not here, move. Move, go and look for that thing and come back, bring it home. Bring it home or even stay there with it. It's fine. We don't mind for as long as we know that you're prospering, you're achieving whatever it is. You found yourself, because they say that it takes 7 years for you to start having traits of your family where we like, oh, Levo, you are doing things like your mom, and then after that, now you start to develop certain things. You start to That's why you'll find that people are becoming successful when they come back home.
Yeah.
Because they have learned that life is more. There's more to life, than just living and eating and sleeping. It's just like a big circle. But I want to urge you, especially from the small towns, from the small villages, I want to urge you, your life does not need to begin and end there. There is a lot of things out there that we haven't seen. There's a lot of
There's
things.
more to life, basically, than your current life.
Yes.
Because sometimes we get so wrapped up with the circumstances, with the situations that are happening around us that we think that this is it. And that's why I think we've got this challenge, especially in our townships, where kids are also all now, how can I say it? They've given up. Well, to a point where it's alcohol, drugs, pregnancy to get that grant money. And for them, they're looking at, in terms of that what's the point here? What other opportunities are there? There is opportunities out there, but it all depends on the knowledge that you're willing to acquire for you to get out and to go wherever you want to go. Sometimes you don't necessarily, because people will say, but hi, my parents, we don't have money, they can't take me to school. Once you can sit and explore, you'll find these opportunities out there. I was telling somebody the other time that if I were to compare the two, if ever it's this, what is this educational thing?
NSFAS, yeah.
Money versus 400 Rand for grant money, which one is better? So there you go to school. All you have to do for you to make sure that you can get that funding, make sure that you pass well. You cannot be passing low and expect to get that funding, financial assistance. So people must get to a point where they need to understand.
Is your phone ringing? Yeah.
Constant. And man, not important. Telling women did. And never able that was at upon inside on an angel. Anyway, to you continue.
Talking about NSFAS and
Yeah. So as a person, you need to compare what's more important. So then current knowledge that they have, they think that the 400 Rand, that's what it's best for them at this point in time. And then you get the 400 Rand and you see that it's not enough, then you think you must have another child so you can increase the money to be able to sustain, which does not even work. But that will be, it's not that you don't have knowledge. You are utilizing the knowledge the limited knowledge that you have. But open yourself out there, explore, ask, instead of always being on social media for things that are not beneficial to you. It's funny that people will say they don't have money, but they always have data.
Yeah.
And when we talk about now technology, which I think it has made things easier for a lot of people, then you cannot complain when it comes to data, because now you've got so much information available to you. Unlike the olden days where we only relied on a dictionary. That was the only thing to give you some sort of information. But other than that, or the inside, what do you call it?
Encyclopedia.
Yes.
And that book was huge, yeah?
And heavy.
Oh.
So at the end, it's all up to you as a person. However, but whatever that you're going to choose, and you think that the knowledge that you have is sufficient for you, then don't blame anybody. Because the information is open for everybody.
The information
when we are all humans, we all have blood, we all have the abilities within us. We are all born with this thing, whether you call the brain, the mind, or whatever it is. We all have this.
Yeah.
So it's all up to you how you stretch it. Because it's just the same thing as exercising. For you to build muscles, you must do something. So it goes the same thing with knowledge. You cannot expect knowledge that you acquired in grade 1 to help you in matric. You skip either all the other grades. For you to be able to pass matric, you need to go through all those standards. So now you cannot be in this place and you have aspirations to go above,
Yeah.
and then you are not willing to do the work and acquire the knowledge, there's always a way. I love this saying that where there's a will, there's a way. There is always a way. I don't believe when you want something desperately so, you will make it a way. There are people who started working at a supermarket packing things, more plastic for people. And they made sure instead of taking that 500 rand and going to spend it, then they invested and put it aside to study and put it into education so they can get qualification to go somewhere. So if ever you really want it, that's why we're saying, and we'll emphasize it again, knowledge is power. I'm sorry, I know people like say, but you don't understand where I come from, the environment. We have seen people, there are people who have made it despite where they come from.
Yeah, they have.
If I were to ask a lot of successful people that we are looking up to, and you take that moment, it's just that they don't usually disclose, and you ask them what they will tell you, and you'll be surprised, and you think other people just woke up and found themselves. They did not. They acquired, they read, they listened, they talked to people, relevant people, they associated themselves with the right people to gain that sense of knowledge. It might not mean that talking to you will give me a degree, but it will give me some knowledge that will enable me to be able to obtain whatever that I want. So people just need to be open about that. So it's not about even literally moving physically from one place to another. It can also mean just you moving in terms of who you associate yourself with. It can also mean what you watch on TV. There are programs that are educational on TV, if ever you look for them properly. Who you talk to, where you're associating yourself with. All those things can enable you to give you the knowledge that you need to get to wherever you want to go.
It's very easy for you to get lost, especially when you do not have the knowledge that is required. You'll find that people will always rob you because you didn't know, and they will use you because you just didn't know. So let us care to know why certain things are done. Let us be like kids. Kids are so inquisitive. They will ask you a lot of questions. The only thing that used to connect us to the world was TV. But it was teaching you what you, especially in soapies, what they wanted to show you.
Yeah.
You know, and when you get to the place that presumably the one that they're using for that, you will understand that it's different from the TV life. Social media has now become more like TV. It shows you things that you should see. That's why I was telling somebody that if you watch something for this long, this is what you will continue being fed. That's just how things are. So we need to go out there, find ourselves, find what we are capable of doing, remove ourselves from our comfort zones, be brave enough to say, I will gather knowledge and I will bring it back. Let's just say that. I think I have done a lot of traveling myself. I've been blessed to go to places that I never thought I would go. You know, places that I was even going there under sponsorships. You know, people were like, yeah, let's just go there. We need you to. So I've been blessed for that because then I can speak on the things that I saw. I can speak on the things that I've learned. But if you have not seen things, then you can't speak on them.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, your knowledge becomes limited to here. Like you only know here. You only know dust. So when you start seeing green, your eyes are like this. I remember the first time I traveled and I was like, wow, it's beautiful. So my eyes was now widely opened, you know. That's why you get to a place and people are eating sushi. You're like, why are you eating raw fish? But that's just the world, how it has evolved. But anyway, I remember I was traveling and it was I can't remember the trip, but it was very nice. So we stopped at a certain garage.
Okay.
So I didn't know about these doors that close and open.
Yeah, the automatic one.
Yes.
The sliding one.
So I jumped off the bus and I wanted to run and get something and come out. And I did not see, it was so nicely cleaned that I ran straight into the glass. Boom, and then I fell. So whenever I encounter those doors, I always do this first.
To make sure that it's open.
You know, because, hey, I've got a bad experience with that one. So experience is the teacher of life, is the life of teachers. And And I think we need to experience that. We need to experiment with that. Hey, man, I say we leave it for now, man. Look, we are going to be making sure that we continue feeding you. And if you feel like it's not enough, talk to us. Talk to us, let us know. And that's where we leave it for now. See you again on another one.
Bye.